First contact protocols. The Nexarian scout vessel emerged from fold space with characteristic precision, its biometallic hull rippling as it adjusted to normal space. Commander Venra watched the blue-green planet through all 4 of her sensory arrays, mandibles clicking in what her species considered amusement. Another primitive world, another routine first contact mission. Initiate standard observation protocols, she ordered, her crystalline command chair pulsing in harmony with her thoughts. The bridge crew, all connected to their stations through neural interfaces, began their well-practiced procedures. They had done this countless times before. Observe, analyze, make peaceful contact, and guide another species into the galactic community under Nexarian protection. Unusual readings from the planet's orbital space. Commander reported her sensor officer, his neural pathways flickering with confusion. I'm detecting thousands of satellites, but they appear inefficient. Multiple redundant systems, overlapping coverage patterns. Venra's secondary hearts maintained their steady rhythm. Primitive species often cluttered their orbital spaces with crude technology. Classification of local civilization. Early spacefaring. Commander. They've reached their natural satellite, but haven't established permanent colonies beyond their system. Recommended approach is Protocol 7 Alpha. Standard procedure for a species just beginning to reach for the stars. Show them true technological advancement, offer guidance, and welcome them into the fold. The Nexarian Empire had perfected this approach over 10,000 cycles. Launch the diplomatic probe, Venra commanded. The sleek, crystalline probe detached from their ship, its surface designed to inspire awe in primitive species with its perfect geometrical patterns and softly glowing hull. The probe never made it halfway to its destination. A beam of coherent energy, unlike anything in the Nexarian database, intercepted the probe. Instead of destroying it, the beam enveloped it in a containment field that shifted through spectrums the Nexarians had never considered viable for weapon systems. Impossible, whispered the tactical officer, his neural interface sparking with stress. They shouldn't have this technology. These energy signatures don't match any known. Nexarian scout vessel NSV-2749. A transmission cut through their communications, bypassing their quantum encryption as if it didn't exist. This is Earth Defense Command. Your probe has been contained. Please maintain your current position. The bridge crew froze. The humans weren't just speaking perfect Nexarian. They were using military identification protocols that should have been impossible for them to know. How did they? Venra began, but another transmission interrupted her. We've been expecting you, the human voice continued, now tinged with what seemed like amusement. We've had decades to prepare since we intercepted your first long-range probe. The one you thought self-destructed near Jupiter. We captured it, studied it, improved upon it. Venra's primary heart nearly stopped. That probe had disappeared over 40 Earth years ago. The Nexarians had assumed it had malfunctioned and followed its safety protocols to destroy itself. Scanning their orbital defense network, her sensor officer reported, his voice trembling. Commander, they've taken our containment field technology, and they've modified it. They're using principles they've found applications we never considered possible. The tactical display came alive with new information. What they had dismissed as primitive satellites were actually a complex defense network. The humans had taken Nexarian technology, and rather than simply copying it, they had approached it from completely different angles, finding new applications and possibilities the Nexarians had never imagined. Your species prides itself on efficiency, on finding the perfect solution and standardizing it. The human transmission resumed. We took your technology and asked, what else can this do? While you perfected one approach, we explored thousands. Would you like to see? Before Venra could respond, her tactical officer screamed in alarm. The contained diplomatic probe was changing. The humans weren't just holding it. They were rewriting its biometallic structure, using principles of Nexarian technology in ways that defied everything she knew about their own science. Fascinating design, the human voice commented casually. But why limit yourself to crystalline structures when you can have programmatic matter? Why settle for neural interfaces when you can have quantum consciousness transfer? Your probe showed us what was possible. We simply refuse to accept your limitations. As Venra watched in horror, the transformed probe began to disassemble itself, each piece restructuring into something new, something that shouldn't have been possible with their technology. The humans had taken their most advanced diplomatic technology and turned it into something else entirely. This is a courtesy notice, the human continued. We're returning your probe, along with a message for your empire. Humanity is not interested in being guided, protected, or controlled. We are, however, very interested in trading knowledge as equals. The reconstructed probe vanished in a flash of light that their sensors couldn't even classify, reappearing instantly next to their ship. Inside it, Venra knew, would be evidence of everything humanity could do with Nexarian technology, and a clear warning of what would happen if the Empire didn't take them seriously. As her ship prepared to return to Fold space, Venra realized that for the first time in Nexarian history, they had encountered a species that didn't need their guidance. The humans hadn't waited to be discovered. They had prepared, adapted, and evolved. The standard protocols were useless here. This wasn't first contact. This was first context, and humanity had just rewritten all the rules. The art of adaptation. The Nexarian War Council convened in their sacred chamber of contemplation, its living crystal walls pulsing with the agitation of its occupants. High Admiral Senvax, commander of the Empire's 7th Fleet, struggled to maintain composure as he delivered his report. The humans don't fight like any species we've encountered, he said, neural feeds projecting battle footage into the shared consciousness of the Council. They're using our own technology against us, but in ways that defy all military doctrine. The footage showed a recent engagement where an Nexarian battle group had attempted to establish a blockade around Earth's Mars colony. They had expected standard resistance, perhaps some primitive kinetic weapons or crude energy beams. Instead, they found themselves facing something entirely different. They've modified their civilian communications network, Senvax continued, mandibles twitching in distress. What we thought was a simple planetary internet system is actually a weapons platform. They're using entertainment streaming servers as targeting computers. Social media networks have been transformed into battle coordination systems. The Council watched as human defenders responded to the Nexarian blockade. Instead of military vessels, they deployed what appeared to be modified civilian ships. Mining vessels had been retrofitted with containment field technology, but instead of using it for defense, they created gravitational lenses that bent weapons fire back at the Nexarian ships. Their atmospheric weather control systems, Senvax's voice cracked. They've turned them into planet-wide shields. They're using orbital debris cleanup drones as automated repair units. Everything in their civilization seems designed to serve multiple purposes. One council member interrupted, their neural patterns showing confusion. But our intelligence indicated they had minimal military infrastructure. How are they coordinating these responses? Senvax projected another battle recording. They're not coordinating in any way we understand. Look at their civilian research stations. The footage showed what appeared to be scientific outposts scattered throughout the solar system. As Nexarian forces approached, these stations transformed. Solar collection arrays became energy weapon arrays. Atmospheric research probes revealed themselves as electronic warfare platforms. Every piece of their infrastructure, Senvax explained, every system and network seems designed to serve peaceful purposes while holding the potential for military application. It's as if their entire civilization was built with the expectation of warfare. The council chamber erupted in agitated neural patterns. This defied everything they knew about civilizational development. Species either focused on military might or peaceful advancement. Trying to do both equally was inefficient, impossible according to their understanding. There's more, Senvax continued, projecting new data. We've analyzed their educational systems. They're children. They're taught to solve problems without fixed parameters. Their entertainment encourages exploring multiple solutions to single challenges. Even their art forms emphasize adaptation and transformation. A junior analyst stepped forward, her neural patterns pulsing with recent discoveries. We found evidence that humans intentionally design their technology to be improvised with. They call it modding, the deliberate modification of existing systems for new purposes. It's not just permitted, it's encouraged. The council watched footage of civilian engineers transforming a communications satellite into an electronic warfare platform in minutes. The humans had built their entire infrastructure with hidden interfaces and modular systems, allowing rapid repurposing of any technology for defense. They don't think like us, Senvax concluded. Where we seek perfection in specialized systems, they create adaptable ones. While we build technology to serve specific purposes, they design everything to potentially serve any purpose. It's not just their military we're fighting. It's their entire civilization. And Elder Council members' neural patterns flared with sudden understanding. They knew we were coming. Not just recently. They've known for decades. Everything they've built, every system and structure, was created with the knowledge that they might one day face a technologically superior force. Correct, Senvax confirmed. And now we're facing an enemy that can turn any piece of their civilization into a weapon. Their entire infrastructure is a dormant defense system. We're not just fighting their military. We're fighting their culture, their way of thinking. The council chamber fell silent as the implications became clear. The humans hadn't just prepared for war. They had built their entire civilization around the concept of adaptation. Every piece of technology, every system and network was designed to transform at a moment's notice. As if to emphasize this point, new alerts flashed through the neural network. Human civilian broadcasting stations had just transformed into a massive sensor array, mapping Nexarian fleet movements across the entire sector. Their planetary power grid was reconfiguring itself into a shield network that their weapons couldn't penetrate. The Nexarians had expected to face a primitive military force. Instead, they found themselves fighting an entire civilization designed for adaptation, where every civilian system could become a military asset and every piece of technology could be transformed to serve new purposes. They weren't just fighting humans, they were fighting human ingenuity itself, and they were losing. Digital warriors. Intelligence analyst first class Kiraven stared at her neural feeds in disbelief as she presented her findings to the Nexarian High Command. Her research team had spent months studying human combat patterns, and what they discovered challenged everything they thought they knew about warfare. The humans aren't using traditional military command structures, she reported, her neural patterns tight with tension. They're using something they call distributed defense networks, systems originally designed for entertainment and social interaction. The assembled commanders watched through shared consciousness as battle footage played. Human ships moved in patterns that seemed chaotic at first glance, but revealed incredible coordination on closer inspection. Each vessel acted independently yet remained part of a greater whole, like cells in a living organism. This tactical network, Kiraven continued, highlighting the system's architecture, was originally designed for something called massively multiplayer gaming. Their civilians used it for entertainment, coordinating virtual battles with millions of participants simultaneously. She showed footage of a recent engagement where a Nexarian battle fleet had been systematically dismantled by what appeared to be civilian vessels. The human ships moved with unprecedented coordination, each pilot seeming to anticipate not just enemy movements, but their fellow defenders' actions as well. These aren't military pilots, she explained, her mandibles clicking with nervous energy. They're civilians, what humans call gamers. People who spend their leisure time practicing complex tactical scenarios in simulated environments. When the war began, they simply transferred these skills to real combat situations. One of the commanders interrupted, neural patterns sparking with confusion. Are you suggesting they're using entertainment software to wage war? Not exactly, Kiraven responded. They're using the principles and infrastructure developed for gaming. Their entire digital entertainment industry was inadvertently creating perfect military training and coordination systems. Every game server, every virtual world, every social platform, they're all now part of their defense network. She projected new data showing the scale of human digital infrastructure. Billions of interconnected devices, massive data centers, and global networks, all originally built for civilian entertainment and social interaction, had been seamlessly repurposed for warfare. Look at this, she continued, displaying footage of a space battle where human ships executed impossibly precise maneuvers. These attack patterns, they're derived from competitive gaming strategies. These pilots have spent years mastering complex three-dimensional movement and coordination in virtual environments. They're not following military protocols. They're using techniques developed through millions of hours of gameplay. The command chamber hummed with uneasy neural activity as Kira Ven revealed more findings. The humans had turned their entire digital entertainment infrastructure into a war machine. Social media platforms became tactical coordination networks. Gaming servers transformed into combat control centers. Virtual reality systems repurposed as training simulators. But here's what's truly remarkable, she said, projecting new battle footage. They're still playing. Look at these combat formations. They're signing their victories, creating elaborate patterns in space, competing for what they call high scores. They've turned warfare into a game, and they're enjoying it. The footage showed human ships executing complex maneuvers that served no apparent tactical purpose, victory dances, signal patterns, even spelling out words with their formation flights. They were treating life or death combat like an entertainment spectacle. Their entire digital civilization, Kira Ven concluded, every game, every social network, every entertainment platform, it's all becoming part of their war effort. And because these systems were designed to be engaging, to be fun, their people are voluntarily participating in massive numbers. She showed final statistics that made the command chamber fall silent. Billions of humans were now actively involved in the war effort through repurposed gaming networks. Every battle was being analyzed, every tactic refined, every strategy optimized by an entire civilization that had spent decades unknowingly preparing for this moment through play. We're not just fighting their military, Kira Ven said quietly. We're fighting an entire species that has turned warfare into a form of entertainment. They've gamified combat itself, and they're not just good at it, they're having fun. As if to emphasize her point, a new alert flashed through the neural network. A major Nexarian fleet had just been defeated by what appeared to be a coordinated attack led by human teenagers, using battle strategies developed in something called esports tournaments. The implications were clear and terrifying. The Nexarians had built the galaxy's most efficient military machine, but they were now facing an enemy that had turned warfare into a game, and they were losing to players who had mastered it through pure enjoyment. The network effect. The Nexarian Central Research Institute was considered impenetrable, its quantum-encrypted systems secure against any known form of intrusion. Yet Director Men Sol watched in fascination and horror as humans breached their defenses in ways that shouldn't have been possible. They're not trying to break our encryption, she reported to the emergency council session, her neural patterns chaotic with stress and reluctant admiration. They're solving it like a puzzle. Millions of them, simultaneously, treating our military-grade security like some kind of collaborative game. The neural feeds showed the human approach in real time. Instead of using traditional cyber warfare techniques, they had somehow gamified the challenge of breaking Nexarian encryption. Every human on their global network could participate, contributing processor cycles and problem-solving capacity to the effort. Look at this, Men Sol continued, highlighting a particular data stream. They've created something they call distributed intelligence networks. Their entire civilian population is connected through neural interfaces we thought were purely recreational. But they're using them to create a kind of collective consciousness that rivals our most advanced AI systems. The Council watched as humans worldwide collaborated in real time, sharing insights, testing theories, and building upon each other's discoveries. What would have taken the most advanced Nexarian AI years to accomplish was being solved in hours by millions of networked human minds warring together. Their approach to problem-solving is unprecedented, Men's Soul admitted. Where we seek perfect solutions through careful analysis, they generate thousands of imperfect solutions and rapidly iterate. They're not trying to find the right answer. They're exploring every possible answer simultaneously. New data flowed through the neural network, showing how human civilization had transformed itself into a vast problem-solving engine. Social media platforms became research coordination networks. Entertainment systems turned into distributed computing nodes. Even their primitive mobile devices were now part of a global computational grid. But here's what's truly remarkable. Men's Soul said, her mandibles twitching with nervous energy. They're not just sharing information, they're sharing creativity. Look at how they approach our technology. The feeds showed humans worldwide studying captured Nexarian tech, each bringing their own perspective and expertise. Artists suggested new applications based on aesthetic principles. Children proposed solutions that violated conventional physics but somehow worked. Engineers and scientists collaborated with gamers and storytellers, creating innovations that defied traditional categorization. Their crowdsourcing warfare, one council member observed, neural patterns flickering with disbelief. Every human with a network connection has become part of their war effort. Men's Soul nodded, projecting more data. Their entire civilization has become a vast research and development network. They've turned problem-solving into a global participatory event. Even their children are contributing, viewing our most advanced technology as nothing more than new toys to experiment with. The council chamber hummed with uneasy neural activity as they watched humans transform Nexarian technology in ways that should have been impossible. Weapons became tools. Defense systems were repurposed for communication. Even their most destructive technology was being studied, understood, and repurposed by millions of networked minds working in concert. We based our entire civilization on the principle of specialization. Men's Soul continued. Each individual, each system, optimized for a specific purpose. But the humans, they've created a civilization where everyone can contribute to everything. Their networks don't just share information, they share possibility. New alerts flashed through the neural feeds. Human networks were adapting faster than their security could respond. Each countermeasure they deployed was met with thousands of innovative solutions, crowdsourced from billions of connected minds. They're not just fighting us, Men's Soul concluded, her neural patterns resonating with the gravity of her realization. They're learning from us. Every engagement, every interaction, becomes part of their collective knowledge. Their entire civilization is evolving in response to our presence. The implications were staggering. The Nexarians had spent millennia perfecting their technology, creating specialized solutions for every challenge. But they now faced a species that had turned their entire civilization into a vast adaptive network, capable of generating endless innovations through collective creativity. As if to demonstrate this point, new data streamed through the neural network. Humans had just reverse-engineered Nexarian quantum communication technology, not through traditional research, but through a massive online collaboration project that had turned the challenge into a public puzzle-solving competition. The Nexarians had built their empire on the strength of their advanced technology, but they now faced an enemy that could not only match their technological prowess, but could innovate and adapt at a pace they couldn't comprehend. Every human with a network connection had become part of a vast, creative problem-solving intelligence that was rapidly outpacing their most advanced systems. They weren't just fighting human technology, they were fighting human collective intelligence itself, and it was proving to be the most formidable force they had ever encountered. Evolution's children. Supreme Chancellor Rixven stood before the Nexarian High Council, her neural patterns radiating an emotion that hadn't been felt in the chamber for thousands of years: uncertainty. The holographic displays showed the latest reports from Earth, each one more extraordinary than the last. "We were wrong," she began, her voice carrying the weight of revelation. "We believed that civilization followed a linear path, that progress meant moving from chaos to order, from diversity to uniformity, from inefficiency to optimization. The humans have proven otherwise." The chamber's crystalline walls pulsed with the collective anxiety of the assembled leaders as they watched footage of human innovation spreading across the galaxy. Their technology wasn't just evolving. It was transforming in ways that defied the very principles of Nexarian science. "Look at how they've adapted our quantum drive technology," Rick Sven continued. "We spent millennia perfecting it, making it more efficient, more standardized. The humans took one look at it and asked, what else can it do? Now they're using it for everything from communication to entertainment to art." The displays showed human ships using quantum drives in ways the Nexarians had never imagined. They weren't just traveling through space. They were reshaping it, playing with it, treating the fundamental forces of the universe like colors on an artist's palette. "But it's not just their technology," she said, bringing up new data streams. "It's their entire approach to existence. We built our empire on the principle of finding the perfect solution to each challenge. They built their civilization on the principle of never stopping looking for new solutions." The council watched as humans continued to transform every piece of Nexarian technology they encountered. But they weren't just copying or improving it. They were reimagining it entirely. What the Nexarians saw as finished products, humans saw as starting points for endless exploration. "Their children," Rick Sven noted, her mandibles trembling slightly. "They don't just learn, they question. Their games aren't just entertainment. They're experiments. Their art isn't just expression, it's exploration. Everything in their culture encourages them to ask what if and why not." New alerts flashed through the neural network. Human researchers had just published thousands of papers on Nexarian technology, not in scientific journals, but on public networks where anyone could access, comment on, and build upon them. They were turning the study of advanced alien technology into a public collaboration project. "We thought we were the pinnacle of evolution," Rick Sven continued, her neural patterns pulsing with the gravity of her words. "We had achieved perfect efficiency, perfect order. But the humans, they've shown us that true evolution never ends. They've made change itself their constant." The council chamber fell silent as she projected one final piece of data. It was a message from Earth, broadcast on all frequencies, in perfect Nexarian. "To the Nexarian Empire. We understand now why you do what you do. You seek to guide younger species, to help them achieve what you see as perfection. But perfection isn't a destination. It's a journey. We don't want to stop evolving. We don't want to reach an endpoint. The moment we stop changing is the moment we stop being human." Rick Sven's neural patterns stabilized as she reached her conclusion. "We have a choice to make. We can continue this war, fighting against a species that treats every defeat as a learning opportunity, every setback as a chance to innovate. Or we can do something we haven't done in 10,000 years. We can change." The council erupted in chaotic neural patterns, but Rick Sven continued. "The humans have offered to share their knowledge with us, not as teachers or students, but as partners in exploration. They want to learn from us as much as they want to teach us. They see our technology, our culture, our very existence as new frontiers to explore." As if to emphasize her point, new data streamed in. Humans had just launched what they called an open-source galactic initiative, a public platform for sharing and collaborating on technological and cultural innovations across species. They weren't just adapting anymore. They were inviting the entire galaxy to join them in constant evolution. "We thought we were bringing order to chaos," Rick Sven concluded. "But the humans have shown us that chaos and order aren't opposites. They're partners in the dance of evolution. They've proven that true civilization isn't about reaching perfection. It's about never stopping the journey toward it." The council chamber's crystalline walls pulsed with the weight of the decision before them. The Nexarian Empire stood at a crossroads. They could cling to their perfect, unchanging order, or they could learn from humanity's greatest strength, the courage to keep changing, to keep questioning, to keep evolving. In the end, it wasn't just a choice between war and peace. It was a choice between stasis and growth, between certainty and possibility, between being perfect and being alive. The humans had shown them something they had forgotten over their long reign, that the true power of civilization lies not in achieving perfection, but in never ceasing to reach for it.